There are moments in gardening when a simple experiment ends up rewriting everything you thought you knew about soil. That's exactly what happened when I buried a handful of old corn cobs into a patch of dry, compacted, completely lifeless soil. I wasn't expecting instant magic. Corn cobs are tough, slow to break down, and not something most gardeners think of as a powerful soil activator. But within 3 days, the entire area transformed into a worm hotspot. The soil texture shifted, and the once dead patch became warm, damp, and alive. This wasn't luck. It was biology doing what it does best when it's given the right materials to work with. And once you understand the reasons behind this reaction, you can use the same method to revive stubborn soil anywhere in your garden. Corn cobs become a microbial magnet the moment they hit the soil. Once corn cobs are buried, they immediately start attracting bacteria and fungi, even though they appear too tough to be useful at first glance. Their structure is loaded with cellulose and hemicellulose, long-chain plant carbohydrates that microbes love to colonize. Unlike sawdust, which can bind up soil nitrogen quickly, corn cobs decompose at a moderate pace. This gives microbes a steady food source without starving your plants of nutrients. As microbes gather on the cob surfaces, the soil around them begins to heat slightly, which is a sign that decomposition is underway. Heat plus microbial activity creates the perfect conditions for earthworms to move in. They follow the microbial scent trail like a buffet line, which explains the sudden worm boom that gardeners often witness after burying cobs. The worms transform the hard soil into a crumbly, fertile structure almost immediately. Worms don't wait for the cobs to soften. They show up as soon as the microbial activity starts rising. This is why the 72-hour transformation is so dramatic. Worms seek out any patch of soil that's biologically active, even if the soil has been lifeless for months. Once they arrive, everything accelerates. They drag tiny pieces of cob into the soil, shred organic matter, and coat the particles with castings. The soil becomes darker, looser, and noticeably easier to work with. Worm castings are a complete fertilizer containing available nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace elements. In many cases, a single active worm bed can improve the nutrient profile of surrounding soil faster than any bag of store-bought fertilizer. This is what turns a dead patch into a fertile bed without digging, tilling, or adding chemicals. You can recreate this soil explosion by preparing the corn cobs the right way. Whole dried cobs work, but if you want a faster reaction, you can break them in half or smash them lightly with a mallet. This increases the surface area so microbes can colonize more quickly. Fresh cobs also work, but dry ones tend to activate soil biology faster because their internal structure absorbs moisture like a sponge as soon as they're buried. A practical ratio is 1 cob for every 2 square feet of soil if the soil is extremely poor. If the soil is only moderately depleted, 1 cob per 4 square feet works well. If you're adding them to planter beds or containers, chop the cobs into 2-inch pieces and mix them into the lower 1/3 of the pot. This helps prevent nitrogen tie-up near the root zone while still delivering the soil-building benefits. Your soil moisture levels determine how fast the worms arrive. Corn cobs need moisture to begin breaking down. Dry soil will delay the reaction, but a single deep watering after burying the cobs is usually enough to activate the microbes. If your soil is heavily compacted, Soak it thoroughly before burying the cobs, then water again after. The ideal moisture level is similar to what you'd want for compost, damp but not soggy. When the soil stays consistently moist for at least 2 days, worms detect the microbial activity and start migrating from surrounding areas. Garden beds that previously seemed empty of worms often reveal entire clusters once the soil becomes biologically active again. You'll see the greatest results when combining corn cobs with a nitrogen-rich partner. Corn cobs alone work well, but adding a small amount of green material accelerates everything. A good rule is 1 part nitrogen material for every 4 parts corn cob material. Examples include a handful of fresh grass clippings, a scoop of kitchen scraps, or a small amount of composted manure. Avoid adding too much, because the goal is to feed microbes steadily, not overwhelm the soil. When the ratio is balanced, the decomposition becomes noticeably faster. Within days, you'll see softening soil, visible worm tunnels, and moisture retaining far better than before. This method is ideal for gardeners trying to revive tired beds without tilling. If you're dealing with a bed that has gone hard and lifeless from neglect, or you've taken over a new plot with compacted soil, burying corn cobs offers a simple and inexpensive rescue method. You can bury 5 or 6 cobs across an entire raised bed and leave them to work silently below the surface. Over several weeks, the soil will continue improving as worms multiply, microbes spread, and organic matter becomes evenly distributed. It's a strategy that works for vegetable beds, herb gardens, perennial borders, and even orchard soil. Many gardeners repeat the process once or twice a year to maintain soil structure without disturbing the ecosystem they've built. If you found this guide helpful and want more practical field-tested gardening methods like this, make sure you subscribe to Gentle Herb Living and share this video with other gardeners. The more we spread real gardening knowledge, the more living soil we can create together.